Now, before I dive into my story, if I'm not wrong, you're probably having this one question. What can I possibly learn from a 16-year-old kid? I mean, yeah, I've had far less experience in life than you guys, obviously. But trust me, by the end of my talk today, I'm sure you will have a great takeaway. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. My name is Vishnu Murali. I'm a sophomore at Farmington High School. I'm a yoga and swim enthusiast. I practice yoga every day, and I'm a swimmer for my high school swim team. I also am a technology enthusiast. I love working with phones, computers, tablets, and I also love playing video games. We've all heard of that one before. I love doing my schoolwork. No, not really. And I also love having fun. I mean, who doesn't love having fun? And the prime time for me having fun was about 3 years ago, in 2016. I was 13 years old. I was on top of the world. I had the right friends. I had the right amount of friends. I had finally gotten the phone I'd been waiting so long for. I went to different birthday parties of my friends. We hung out together. And there was a lot of junk food and soda. But then something totally unexpected came without warning and caused a little turbulence in my perfect life. Let's take a look at what that turbulence was. The turbulence was nothing but unexplainable rashes and bulges that appeared all over my body. Yeah, there we go. It was sometimes accompanied with a fever, and it was itchy, and you could easily see it. The pictures above, you could see it on my neck, my ear, and my stomach. My parents and I did not know what was causing this, or what we could do to solve it. We had no clue. It was severely bothering us. So when a parent is bothered with their child's condition, or even if a child's bothered with their own condition, what they naturally do is go to the doctor. That's the standard approach. And that's what my parents did as well. We went to my pediatrician the first time these rashes popped up. My pediatrician took a look and she said, no, it's probably a bug bite or an allergic reaction. And so she gave me the appropriate allergy relief medicine. But after taking the allergy medicine, the intensity of the rashes exploded. It rose exponentially. It was all over my body. It was this one weekend where it was so high that my dad took a picture on his phone and sent it to the pediatrician immediately. And she responded back immediately and said that, take Vishnu to the ER ASAP. I was clueless as to what was going on. So we went to the ER. The ER doctors, they did their checkup, their usual checkup, and they also told me to go through some blood work. And what they said broke me. My jaw dropped. I was speechless. They said this was most likely Lyme disease. I couldn't have ever imagined something like that could happen to me. So they put me on the antibiotic for Lyme disease for about 3 weeks. But then a few days later, when the blood work results came in, it was confirmed, thankfully, that it was negative for Lyme disease. Woohoo, yay. But the sad part was the rashes were still there even after completing the antibiotic. It didn't solve the problem. So we went back to my pediatrician, and this time she said, go meet the infectious disease specialist. So we went to the infectious disease specialist, and he said he ran his tests. He told me to do a set of blood works too. But he also said he couldn't find anything wrong with me. The rashes, still the same. Nothing went down. Once again, we had to go back to my pediatrician, and this time she said, go meet the allergy specialist. So we went to the allergy specialist. He ran his tests. He did his checkup. He told me to go through a set of blood work. And he also said the same thing. He couldn't find anything wrong with me. The intensity of the rashes, still the same. It didn't go down at all. I was starting to get annoyed, frustrated, that there was no solution to this. Then my pediatrician told me to go to the rheumatologist. And at this point in time, I'm kind of hopeful. I'm thinking, hey, maybe this might be it. This is where it probably ends. So we go to the rheumatologist. She does her tests, and she also does her blood work. But contrary to what I believed in, she also said she couldn't find anything wrong with me. I had lost all hope and faith. I was annoyed, angry, frustrated, mostly because I had to take more than 100 pills, including antibiotics, allergy relief medicine, painkillers, fever reducers. On top of that, I had 15 different sets of blood work in 18 months, for which I had to be pulled out of school for, or had my weekend plans disrupted. This was hurting my personal life. This was hurting my education, and I hated it. I was starting to lose my sense of calm, my sense of peace. My identity as a fun kid was starting to deteriorate. I was also feeling guilt that I had put my parents through so much trouble. My parents spent so many nights researching, talking to international doctors, trying to figure out what was this? And then finally, in the darkness, there was a tiny speck of light. It was the most unlikely and unconventional solution. What was this, you might ask? Yoga and healthy eating. Now, when my parents first said yoga to me, I laughed at their faces. I mean, how exactly was doing postures with my body and breathing, which I do every single second of my life, cure this condition of mine? I thought they were kidding or something. It wasn't even April Fool's. When someone said the word yoga to me, I imagined a rishi sitting on a mountain meditating. There was no way I was going to do that. I wanted to party. I wanted to have fun, not meditate. But then eventually, I agreed. I reluctantly agreed, only because I had that guilt that I put my parents through so much. So, with no faith, no hope, no belief, I started to practice yoga and healthy eating. The healthy eating part wasn't too hard because, before I used to have a 70-30 healthy to junk food ratio, but now it was 90-10. So that wasn't that bad. But then the yoga part, well, it was surprising to me because by just practicing yoga for 3 weeks, I started to see change. Some of the yoga positions that I did, as you can see on the screen, is called Super Brain Yoga on the top left corner, which is also called Thopakarnam. I also did sun salutations, which you can see in the bottom right corner, which is a series of 12 different positions. And I also did a lot of meditation and breathing exercises in which, So it's called Bhastrika and Pranayama, Ujjayi's breath, and Om meditation. And what shocked me was that in just practicing this for 3 weeks, I started to see change. Change that I've been waiting so long for. Change that I've been waiting for a long 18 months. I started to feel better, mentally, emotionally. I started to feel my sense of calm coming back, my sense of peace coming back. I started to have more control over my life. Surprisingly enough, by practicing yoga for just 3 weeks, the intensity of the rashes started to come down, finally. And by practicing yoga for 6 months, the rashes were gone. By practicing yoga for just 6 months, I treated an 18-month condition. I was baffled. I couldn't believe it at all. How did this happen? So I decided to do some research on my own to see, how was this possible? And according to the International Journal of Preventive Medicine and the National Health Interview Survey, which surveyed American adults, if I had to go through each statistic, I'd be here all day. But the most notable statistics are 86% said that yoga helped reduce stress, and 82% said that it improved their overall health and made them feel better. I could relate to this easily. Yoga helped me overcome my sense of anger, my sense of stress that I was putting on myself, that I was responsible for putting my parents through so much trouble. This was all my fault. I reduced the stress that I had with these conditions. And yoga, it did improve my overall health. In just 18 months, in just 6 months, I was able to cure something that I had for 18 months with no medication, no doctor consultations, no blood work. And by practicing yoga, I had no more anger, no more frustration, no more annoyance, no more guilt, no more of me getting pulled out of school, no more of having my weekend plans disrupted, but instead, more of me, more of my calm, more of myself back. And most importantly, my hope and faith was restored within me, only because of yoga. Thank you.